All right, we're back and we have the first game of the very, very, very last finals of this long, not drawn out, but long process we want to call the Challenger Series North America. Of course, you'll get to go through this all over again tomorrow with the EU version. And I gotta say, it's been fun, and we now get to this final climactic point, and I'm so excited to see what they're gonna bring, what strategies they're just gonna pull out just to try and secure their win. And there's so many things that have led to this point that I honestly think that we can't do anything but have an explosive final series.
Yeah, these two teams are very good. I mean, a lot of people will see them miss something and go, "Oh no, this team is awful." Actually, no. These guys are some of the best of their ability. They may not have the practice of the top SPL level teams, but they are still insanely good at what they do, and they keep on coming out to do it every single day. And they've been playing very well for the past 7 weeks. This is their final week, and they're going all out as well today.
Well, we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. Risky Behavior has the first pick, and it looks like, yep, it's going to go over to Soul. We've seen how strong she can be, especially in the hands of Risky Behavior. FaymousHate really favoring that Soul pick, has had much success with it in these past couple of games, and now we get to see how well it fares against Neilm.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a little bit interesting to see exactly how Neilm are going to counteract this Soul. Now, as we mentioned, Risky Behavior pretty much picked Soul the 2 times that they had the potential to do it. It worked out both times for them. There was very little problems they had with them, but Soul is still counterable. Sorry. She does have a couple of issues with her. She does get messed up by Disarm quite a lot. She gets messed up by a lot of roots. So gods such as Neith and Xing do a very good job at actually dealing with her because they just sit her in the same place. And you can't move even during that increased movement speed and movement penalty reduction of her Disapparate. You can't move during that, and she can actually be burst down pretty quickly because she's quite a weak character when she just gets stuck in the middle of people.
Well, Risky Behavior has 2 more picks to go through here after seeing Neilm's Janus and Xing and Zeus. Oh man, all aboard the Zeus hype train. Here we go. He had such a huge impact with XenoTronics in the very last game we saw with Risky Behavior. They got a wonderful ultimate off with Zeus and completely swung around a fight. And also on top of all that, Thor. So Risky Behavior having what I believe to be the much stronger team composition. Thor for the middle game, Zeus and Soul both offering a lot of damage as the game progresses early all the way up to the end. So Neilm really tasked with trying to find a way to kind of balance this out. And so far, they've done it a little bit so with Anhur as well as Xing, a bit of a kill lane over in the duo, maybe going to be good enough to respond to Soul. And then, of course, Janus having the high rotatability. This laning team comp that Neilm has so far is going to have a pretty good time if they can really punish Risky Behavior. But the one thing you have to consider is Thor is on the other side, and he's going to be able to use his ultimate as well. But bans come out as well. Risky Behavior banning Humbots and Neilm banning out Khepri.
Yep, and then to follow it up, Neilm pick up Athena. I was about to say this, I believe that Xing is going to the solo lane. He is too strong in the solo to be able to fight, and it is by far one of those picks that you should be going for. Now, I don't know if Risky Behavior knows about this, but there is some interesting actions with Soul's Stellar Burst, and it's perfect timing to be able to double tap Xing. Now, when I say double tap, I mean double tap, so you're technically doing 4 sets of damage to him. And it's quite funny to watch when Xing sits on about half health, uses his 3, and then immediately dies to the Soul because you just pressed 2.
And really interesting to see the Athena pick. A lot of people started to kind of question if she was going to be as strong as, say, Sobek and Khepri and Gab and all these other characters. But even with her nerfs to her CDR on her ultimate, I still feel like she's bringing a lot to the table. Now, Risky Behavior pick up two characters that I think are very strong right now, one of which being Tyr, a god that hasn't been played a lot in a long time, but I think is still really powerful, offers a lot of CC, and is still a very tanky presence, especially with his passive allowing for him to kind of move around team compositions. And, you know, I think that he is going to be a very intricate part of Risky Behavior's lineup. But, let's talk about this Bastet pick on the side of Neilm.
I really like this Bastet pickup. However, I don't like it in this current composition that they're up against. Now, Bastet in general is actually a very strong character. I mean, her cats, I worked it out, at max rank, they do something like 19,000... Well, no, not 19,000. 1,970 damage. So that's 1,970 for all of you EU folks who didn't understand me there. So 1,970 plus 600% physical damage scaling if you just let the cat sit there and eat your face. You've got to be able to get away from that. That is the biggest thing.
You know why I love this Bastet pick? You know why I think that this pick is actually going to be one of the defining points of the game? Because Zeus hype train gets slowed down quite a substantial amount when you have three cats just kind of messing your day up, even if the person who's messing your day up isn't in your lightning storm. So Zeus, his best response to dealing with cats is either going to be chain lightning, throwing out the shield and trying to get something done with that, or throwing down a lightning storm, all of which are tools that he kind of needs to answer other problems. Bastet also can slow down Thor, kind of shutting down the Berserker Barrage a little bit in terms of him chasing people. And basically, Bastet's going to be used as a big laning tool. Neilm is going for that kind of mid-game style we saw earlier, and I think that they can do so very successfully. They have a lot of rotatability, they have a lot of CC, and they have a lot of earlier game damage. Now, that being said, I still would give Risky Behavior the victory easily if this goes to another 40-minute slobber knocker, but Neilm do have the tools to run away with this one if Risky Behavior doesn't respond accordingly.
Yeah, and more importantly, Neilm have to play this absolutely perfectly. This Bastet, as you said, does have a lot of potential against the Zeus and some potential against the Thor in that Berserker's Barrage. However, against the Tyr, against the Soul, she really does not perform that well. She can get caught out pretty quickly and she will die pretty fast as well. You've got to try and make sure that you use her slows in the right place on the right people and try and get the cats to be used more effectively. In fact, I think Neilm's probably going to be looking to use this Bastet as more of a split push, because we saw last time round when Grishank was on Circuit, the least likely god to be split pushing, she was down in the left side Phoenix while they were fighting at Fire Giant. This is probably what Grishank wants to try and do a lot more. They want to try and make sure that he can run around, take out Phoenixes, and be a nuisance for Risky Behavior, which is exactly the way you should be trying to play Bastet, especially against this composition.
So I'm going to go ahead and take a crack at this. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. I'm going to try and predict at least the first... I'll go 30. I'm going to predict the first 30 minutes of the game. Let's see if I can do this. We're going to watch and see if maybe I get this right. So Neilm, they're going to go for a first blood over in the dual lane. Bastet's going to... No, they're going to give it to Anhur if at all possible. And it's going to be on Sylvanus because he's still not a very highly mobile god. And then because of that, Risky Behavior is going to counteract by warding heavily into the dual lane, find a good Zeus play, pick up the first Gold Fury, and then back and forth it will go. But ultimately, I think by the 30-minute marker, Risky Behavior is going to be ahead. Now, that wasn't exactly a very in-depth prediction, but I feel like it's still very accurate.
See, I'm going to call your bluff on that. I'm going to say it's pretty much going to happen in the same place, but PandaCat's going to miss them the first blood because he's going to use the Impale and impale them away from them.
Oh, you're giving the worst case scenario. Okay, I like it. That is a very possible scenario. I've seen many on her mess up a play by using the Impale incorrectly, but I'd hope that Neilm wouldn't have that happen to them just because they've reached the finals. To watch an Impale first blood mistake would be kind of frustrating, actually, now that I think about it. But we are getting loaded into the game, all set up and ready to go. Risky Behavior versus Neilm, game number 1 in the best of 5 series. Who's going to be the one to walk away with the official title of the NA #1 Challengers Cup Series champion? and who's going to be the one to walk away saying, hey, I got second place?
So we haven't been able to introduce risky behavior. They've been sitting on the sidelines for about 2 hours watching the games between Neilm and Team Resist. So let's go ahead and introduce them. On your ADC, we're going to see FaymousHate playing Soul. That's the AD carry role, by the way. So I did not say anything new. Attack damage carry role. Usually you see the Hunter class in there, but this time we're going to see the Soul sitting there. Then Wubbn is going to be playing Sylvanus in the support role. XenoTronics is going to be playing that Zeus mid with a new SWC 2016 Zeus skin. CrazyToaster is going to be in tier in the solo lane, and Skeeledon is going to be jungle Thor with that red pot as always.
Over in the red jersey, we've got Neilm, NeiruMah in the support role as Athena, Covi in the solo lane as Grishank, Grishank in the jungle as Bastet, PandaCat, Hunter at Anhur, and JiminyGlick in the middle lane as Janus. And so far, everything's starting off just as you would expect, passively, a couple of wards just to make sure that no one goes for any kind of aggressive rotations or invades. And, you know, I gotta wonder how Tier is gonna fare against a Grishank over in the solo lane, because that is literally a matchup I have not seen before at all.
Well, I mean, I've been playing against the Grishank a lot as I'm a solo main myself, and all I'll say, he's probably one of the most annoying gods to fight currently in the solo lane. He does so much damage because of that percentage tick damage on his Furious Roar, while he also is very tanky with insane levels of HP 5 on his passive, of which he gets every single wave. It's going to be very difficult for CrazyToaster to actually be able to evenly fight Covi and be able to stay alive for long enough to actually defend him. He's also gone for a very aggressive build of this Bluestone Boots build, so he wants to try and make sure that he's got enough damage to clear the wave rather than enough damage to, well, enough sustain to keep himself alive. Over on the dual lane though, we're going to see NeiruMah taking quite a bit of damage, actually got rooted out by Wubbn.
Oh, but there's the aggressive jump by PandaCat. He wants to chase down a little bit more. Sylvanus being a good guy support and just tanking that up and getting ready to heal. But there's also the aggressive invade by the guys on risky behavior, stealing the right side back harpies from the guys on Neilm. And now, a bit of an awkward walk in into the lane. Berserker Barrage is going to do quite a bit of damage onto Bastet, but Unstable Vortex. Oh, the double tap. Grishank is actually going to be the one who gets first blood on. I've already lost my predictions. That's all right. Still first blood going over to risky behavior. They have to feel pretty good about that one, especially getting that onto Thor and taking away red pot from Bastet.
Well, I mean, that was a really good combination. You could see how XenoTronics and... Oh, wow, Covi actually take quite a bit of damage in the solo lane. Sitting on about 300 HP, though. He should be fine. He's not going to die anytime soon. He's Xing. And he's also got a lot of HP 5. You can see he's actually healing pretty insanely now. Already sitting at 400 HP again. He's just healing so fast. And this is the big thing about Xing and why he's so strong.
You know, I still give my hat over to Tier just because he's got a lot of sustainability himself, and on top of that, he's got the CC to potentially make a big play with his teammates, especially the jungler, if Thor ever decides to Thor dunk over in the soul lane, which may or may not be rare, depends on how much priority is being put onto the dual lane by their opponents. But that being said, Thor is level 5 and he is over at the dual lane, so the first kill over in the dual lane might actually go in favor of risky behavior.
Yeah, and you can see he was looking for it for quite some time, but I think he eventually decided that actually he was sitting there for too long. Now, one thing I wanted to say, and it was something that I didn't get to talk about before we saw Covi taking quite a lot of damage, but Skeeledon and XenoTronics, these guys have been working together for quite some long time. You can see they're working really well as JiminyGlick falls to XenoTronics again. That's why you don't fight a Zeus without a wave next to you.
Oh my goodness, that was just painful to watch.
Skeeledon actually going to go into his ultimate, looking for Grishank, not going to find him though. Cat's actually come out just to try and make sure he lives. Skeeledon may take a little bit too much damage there, forced to use the Mjolnir's attunement out, and now XenoTronics is just going to turn around and finish the Cats off and make sure that Grishank can't really go in.
Oh, but Grishank is coming around the backside. He does have an ultimate available. Is he going to go for the aggressive 3v1? There's the Athena, Defender of Olympus on top of it, and he's going to catch 2 people. That's a lot of damage. They're going to be able to secure 2 kills for themselves as Covi secures himself 2 kills for his team in combined effort with the Athena. And that is one of the sneaky plays that Neilm goes for that really sets them apart from some of these other teams.
Yeah, and I think that was an unfortunate miscommunication between Risky Behavior and their solo laner, CrazyToaster. I think he forgot to mention that Xing was on his way, or if he did, he may have thought that he was going for the blue buff.
Sorry about that. Dual lane Anhur lands the Impale pillar combination. Thought he had enough mana for the ultimate. Didn't actually go for it though, so not sure if he didn't think that he could finish off FaymousHate with that, but doesn't matter. He's going to just go ahead and start channeling the back. Skeeledon going to be forced to leave. Maybe, nope. Yep, there it is. He actually tried to go for it a little bit too late there. But red buff going to be secured onto Janus after Skeeledon kind of chilling in the jungle. And actually, he's going for a pretty aggressive purple buff steal, but no one sees it, so that's going to be pretty free.
Yeah, and right now over in the solo lane, those 2 kills that Covi got is going to make CrazyToaster have so many difficulties in this lane now. You can see he's very low on mana, and even though he's got a decent amount of HP, he can't really defend. Over in the solo lane though, PandaCat actually on about half health already, going to get knocked up continuously, going to be forced to channel his ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. FaymousHate gets the kill on him.
Yeah, and back over in the solo lane, as you mentioned, no mana on the CrazyToaster. He's going to have to deal with his full Bastet damage, and he's got just enough for the Lawbringer, but yeah, they're still going to chase this. Cats are still going after him as well, and Xing tanking it just long enough for Grishank to walk away with the kill. They're going to need all the kills they can get onto this Bastet if they want to try and make a good swing into this game. And here, actually, Grishank going through the portals to try and get away to safety, and unfortunately, no, actually, he's going to survive, force the ultimate from XenoTronics, who thought the detonate would be enough damage, and actually had to go ahead and pop that ultimate just to secure that one. So 4 kills on Risky Behavior, 3 kills on Neilm. You see this chart spiking up and down, but nothing really set in stone just yet.
Yep, NeiruMah going to be the focus of engagement right now. Not going to get hit by the Thor ulti though. Is going to get hit by the Thor stun. He's used his dash away already. Unfortunately, that Thor wall actually blocked off both XenoTronics and Wubbn right there, so they weren't able to keep on going on him. So that's going to be NeiruMah getting out for another day, and more importantly, that's going to be Skeeledon's ultimate not there anymore, so they can actually look to go engage now on the side of Neilm. Speaking of engagement, PandaCat falls again to FaymousHate.
Yeah, so far it's not been a favorable matchup for Anhur over in that dual lane. FaymousHate has been boxing him non-stop, and you know, we've just seen FaymousHate on Soul so often, even just today, that it makes you really wonder if there's really any room to say that he's not going to win most matchups with Soul, because he feels very confident in going into most of these games, and I haven't seen him go negative on that pick just yet, and may need to have a little bit more respect for it in the next game, but right now they still need to try and find an answer for it here.
Well, you can see Risky Behavior actually very much values this Soul pick. You saw it last time around when they actually banned out Soul when they were in the second. Well, they were in the second pick position. I'm pretty sure they banned out Soul, which made sure that they weren't going to be able to actually use it. Whereas on the side of Neilm, they only value it if they know that the other player is good. I think after this game, they will realize that Famous is not someone you want to fight.
Yeah, and there comes the through space and time, just trying to get a chase potential on Sylvanus. Here it comes. There's going to be the damage I was talking about earlier, and JiminyGlick is going to be the one awarded with the kill. But Thor coming down with a beautiful 2-man dunk, able to find the meals of the 2-man to find the kill onto NeiruMah, and they're going to walk away 1-for-1, support for support.
Over in the solo lane though, Covi finishes off CrazyToaster. That's going to be a nice win for them. It's going to be a 2-for-1 overall. In fact, well, actually no, a 1-for-2 even. So big win for the side of Neilm, actually, just because of CrazyToaster getting soloed.
Yeah, so initially it started off as just an even trade, and almost not an even trade just because Risky Behavior is a little bit better on the health and mana department, and the guys on the side of Neilm just weren't able to farm effectively afterwards, so you see the gold kind of peak up a little bit more after the fact. But that being said, it looks like Risky Behavior is going to make it to the late game just fine, so that brings to question, is Neilm going to be able to take advantage of this Bastet team comp that they've worked out for themselves?
Well, luckily for them, they've been able to get the kills onto Xing, so he's going to be able to get very far up in his build. And one of the things that you want to see is a Xing pretty much fully built fairly early on. And FaymousHate actually very low on the left-hand side. Ooh. The Janus ultimate use, but not going to hit him. He's sitting on about 20 HP or so. Just going to get the healing from his from his 1 and backing off because he does not want to fall.
Now Tier is having a little bit of a tank slap off with Jin Chan. Unfortunately, he's just going to lose that matchup. But taking a look at Tier's build, he is going for a very high sustaining build, has the Emerald Talisman, so isn't really likely to die to the long extended slap fight with Jin Chan. He's actually more likely to die to any kind of intervention from the Thor in the soul lane. He's still actually fairly weak in terms of health and natural protections. Thor could make a big play over here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that Tier has got recently is he got a little bit of buff to his base protection. We're actually going to see Covi using his ultimate, forcing CrazyToaster to do a little bit of interesting stuff. Is going to be able to heal up pretty easily though. Grishank's over here though. He's trying to chase him down. Gonna miss the slow. CrazyToaster's on about half health. Not going to get hit by the root either. Gonna actually heal off of the cats as well. And I think that's going to be a final disengage from Neilm. But they know where the cats are and they know that the cats are down. So they're probably going to be looking for someone somewhere else.
Did I say Thor? I meant Bastet. But yeah, the Bastet came over, they tried to make a play, and good management of mana as well as abilities led to Tier actually being able to make a big play here. And not only make a big play, make a big distraction, leading to the Gold Fury guaranteed over to risky behavior.
Yeah, we're going to see the Janus coming over here, but realizing too late. Actually going to get using the ultimate there. The Wrath of Terror. JiminyGlick's got to get out of here. Not going to be enough. Is he going to get detonated? Yes, he is. XenoTronics going to get the kill.
You want to talk about way to secure a Janus kill? Detonate is definitely one of the answers. Is Skeeledon starting to pinch behind the two members of Neilm. Taunt used to try and secure an escape route, but it's not going to be enough just yet. But Thor kind of splitting off the rest of his team. He's going to have to back off, and the rest of the members of Risky Behavior are just going to have to settle for taking a tier 1 tower. Still, though, that's a very good swing of gold going in their favor. I mean, just getting the Gold Fury as well as a kill, and on top of that, getting this tier 1 tower is huge.
Yep, although they may not be able to get this tier 1 tower as NeiruMah has TP'd into Grishank. He's going to get pulled out though. He's actually taking a lot of damage, but the beautiful XenoTronics ultimate from Xing Chan is not going to hit anyone either. Now Covi's taking quite a bit of damage from XenoTronics himself. Grishank forced to use the cats, but they're going to be immediately removed by FaymousHate's Stellar Burst, and now they've just got to all disengage. Skeeledon a little bit too low. XenoTronics has a lot of mana, but he doesn't have much health here. They do have a Sylvanus luckily, so they can heal up and get ready for the next fight. However, CrazyToaster is going to get caught out a little bit.
Yeah, he should be fine. He's got his ultimate available and is going to use it. Not a very long cooldown, so we should expect to see that very soon. However, Mid Harpies did go on the right side in favor of Neilm as they're trying to desperately pull back some of this gold that they've lost. And CrazyToaster in a little bit of an awkward spot here, but over on the other side, JiminyGlick taken out by XenoTronics. And now Covi is making his big appearance over on the CrazyToaster as Tier heals up on the blue buff yet again. XenoTronics here, and he wants to get some blood on this Bastet.
Yep, he's going to look for as many taps of his detonate as he can, only finding 2 there, but Covi on the right hand side going to get pulled in using Tier's Fearless. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage using his hook slam away, but is it going to be enough? CrazyToaster still chasing him. The Fearless is going to be up in about 3 or 4 seconds. Very close, not going to find the double tap though. Thor actually teleporting it into the mid mana buff, but it's finally going to go down. Thor could have had that earlier, but unfortunately it was just too far of a teleport. He got stuck in the mana buff instead.
So one of the big disadvantages of having a Bastet on your team is that if you don't get ahead as Bastet, you really don't make that much of an impact in the lanes. And then on top of that, you take too long to get to the point of split pushing down tower. So you essentially become kind of useless for a long time. If your cats are too far behind, it's actually kind of negligible. You can kill them off pretty easily and without that much investment. And then on top of that, you aren't doing anything all that useful for quite some time. At best, your cats are going to be a good tower aggro mechanic so that you can just drop them under tower and kill off somebody. But Neilm is in no position to be the aggressor in a lot of these lanes.
Well, even if they were trying to be aggressive with those cats, the biggest thing on the side of risky behavior, and this was something that I noticed when they were drafting, they've got so many ways of killing those cats immediately that they basically won't exist. Grishank is actually getting completely soloed in the background. the only thing that Skeeledon did to help him was a little bit of a stun. He is going to get knocked into the tower though, taking quite a bit of damage. Nice Sylvanus ultimate, but the perfect Janus ultimate is going to come through, finish him off, and now Wubbn's going to get a very nice route onto NeiruMah as well. XenoTronics trying to do as much as he can. NeiruMah's going to go down. Covi going to try and do as much damage to XenoTronics as he can, but is it going to be enough? The hook slam is going to be enough to keep him alive. Actually, no, XenoTronics is still alive. Finally, JiminyGlick finishing him off, using the threshold over the wall to try and get increased movement speed. CrazyToaster going to ult over the wall, is going to hit him, he's going to explode, and that's going to be JiminyGlick going down to CrazyToaster.
Oh my goodness, it always does my heart good to see a good tier play, and that was a good tier play. Getting the ultimate, using the dash, and just in case, also using the cleave. But here it is, Grishank again just getting bullied out. Is he going to be able to escape? Tries to look for the jump of the wall. Is able to find a jump, not over a wall that can't be followed through, and FaymousHate might be able to find the distance closing. Nope, not going to be able to do it. Grishank should be able to survive from this point on, just chilling out in the middle of the mana buff camp. FaymousHate not going to bother with it, and you just see Grishank just kind of backing right there. Meanwhile, though, speed buff is going to be taken out by risky behavior. Possibly, there's the taunt, there is the double tap from Thor, and yeah, Covi is going to walk away with the speed buff, but are they going to go for the kill opportunity? Nope, they're not going to be able to do it just yet. PandaCat desperately looking for something, and oh my god, that is going to be a 3 space in time, landing onto FaymousHate, setting him up for death, as he's going to get thrown back into PandaCat, who finishes him off. Now NeiruMah able to secure the kill on the Skeeledon, and finally Tian is going to fall to JiminyGlick.
Yep, but now Wubbn and XenoTronics are over here. They're doing a very nice routing job. Covi going to be very low on health after XenoTronics takes out NeiruMah. Is going to get hit by the last little bit of the double tap from Janus, and he's going to go down. Big win for Neilm. Now 4 of Neilm are left alive with only 1 of the side of risky behavior. Unfortunately, I don't think risky behavior can actually do the gold fury that easily, because Skeeledon's up soon and he's got his ultimate ready.
They're going to try and just leash the aggro off between Anhur and friends, and mostly Anhur is going to be the one in charge of tanking this. But Skeeledon is nearby. He hasn't channeled his ultimate yet. He's actually instead electing to just go for a regular route, and this actually might be a bad decision as Skeeledon is able to potentially get some, he actually isn't investing at all into trying to get a kill, but there it is. That's going to be at least the kill on a JiminyGlick. I think that Skeeledon should have used the ultimate a little bit sooner there. Rather, he ended up dying.
He didn't want to use the ultimate because he didn't want to be hard. Unfortunately, what happened there is that Neilm knew exactly what to do against him, and that just meant that he couldn't secure the gold fury, he couldn't find a kill, and unfortunately it just led to him only being able to get in 1 death for his own. Really unfortunate. Luckily the gold fury was leashed. Risk behavior can't look for it though, because there is a nasty little Grishank, little baby cat sitting around looking for the right person to go on.
Well, I think that if Thor had went up, he would have been able to get a kill on somebody, whether or not they stay in the gold fury or not. But Grishank getting taken down quite a bit. Thor's damage, or excuse me, Tyr's damage is really starting to make itself apparent as he does now have the Jotun's Wrath completed and is looking to really sway some of these fights. I think that one of the more important aspects of this game is going to be how well Tyr can survive and kind of sway the tides of a team fight just with his dash. So if he can get a good fearless combination onto, say, just 2 members of Neilm, that's a huge impact onto the next team fight. But over here, he looks to try and do so, but FaymousHate isn't going to go any bit more aggressive as he saw the ultimate come out from Janus.
XenoTronics in a little bit of trouble. NeiruMah going to use the ultimate onto PandaCat. He knew that it wasn't going to be that great if he just stood there for a little bit. So he's going to stand there instead and get a little bit of protection increase with that ultimate. CrazyToaster taking quite a bit of damage though from this. Janus sitting on half health already. Luckily there's a lot of places for him to heal coming out. They're just going to start the gold fury possibly if they want to. They could very much do this, but NeiruMah and Grishank are both here.
Yeah, there's a lot of members of Neilm here and available to stop any kind of attempt. And oh my goodness, that yoink was amazing, as they're now going to all in invest in NeiruMah, who gets blown up. Can Anhur escape is the question. Tian missing his ultimate is huge, and now he's just in an awkward spot. Whereas Covi is in the backside, as well as Grishank, looking for the kill opportunity, and JiminyGlick is able to find the kill on the FaymousHate. So this fight is completely turned around in favor of Neilm. Risky behavior in an awkward spot. Thor hype train isn't going to be able to tank as well as do damage, and so Neilm start to turn their attention over to the Gold Fury.
Yep, XenoTronics is still here. Wubbn's sitting here, but he's very low on health. He's got to be quite careful. As you're going to see, the portal go through the middle of that, so they know that's down. The unstable vortex also comes out. CrazyToaster actually TP'd behind him. Wubbn is taking a lot of damage though after JiminyGlick falls. XenoTronics trying to do as much damage to Covi as possible. They've actually gone off the gold tier because they know they can't do it. Destinate's not going to be enough. He is still alive, and CrazyToaster can't go for him.
You know what feels really bad? Getting Gold Fury stopped by a tier. And you know what's gonna even feel worse? NeiruMah getting blown up by the XenoTronics tier combination as Bastet wants to try and chase XenoTronics, unfortunately can't do so. I believe I saw a Heavenly Agility used, and yeah, that was a Heavenly Agility onto Zeus, so they definitely have all the answers they need to deal with Bastet's damage potential.
Yeah, if you don't know, by the way, most of Bastet's ability to do damage is actually in her slows. She has a slow on her 3 and a slow on her ultimate, with each cat doing a big slow, which means that in general she takes a lot of damage. Actually, the Janus ultimate coming through though, gonna hit 2 characters. CrazyToaster taking so much damage is gonna get a nice fearless onto Covi, but he's then just gonna be ulted away. JiminyGlick taking quite a bit of damage by the Thor though. Whether they're gonna be able to find that much, we'll have to see.
And now they're desperately chasing down JiminyGlick. Zeus uses his shield and finds a chain lightning onto quite a few people, and XenoTronics secures the kill away from Skeeledon just before Skeeledon lands onto Covi. So a little bit of a revenge kill there from Zeus, as he's missed every kill opportunity from detonates, but now he's not missing any kill opportunities. He sets up quite a few kills for his teammates as Lightning Storm does such a high amount of damage. Actually, Zeus sitting at highest player damage in the game, and it keeps continuing. XenoTronics with a double kill. They still have the Gold Fury aggroed onto their team, and they are going to be able to walk away with it. Risky behavior setting themselves up with a 5.3k gold lead.
Yep, that's going to be a 5.3k gold lead and sitting at a 7k XP lead, so they're very far ahead there. They want to make sure that they've got this game in the bag. They want to get this final. They want to get the extra 2,500 gold, and that's the pillar blocking the Anhur.
Yeah.
Ow. Covi going to come into the backline though, blinking in, taking quite a bit of damage. XenoTronics getting healed up a fair amount. Though Covi looking for the ultimate, whether he's going to be able to find a good one or not, we'll have to see. Very nice route from Wubbn, actually going to keep him alive. The Janus ultimate comes through, but it's not going to hit the couple of backline characters there were. Grishank going to use the cats as well. Covi going to get a very nice ultimate. He's going to be out alive, and more importantly, Wubbn's going to be dead. Actually, no, FaymousHate finally finds Covi. Now NeiruMah's going to fall. Grishank's looking in the background, wanting to find someone, but there's no one else to help him there. Only Janus, and he's running away right now. Although there is still 3 characters in the lane. Whether Grishank can go on these 2, we'll have to see. XenoTronics just not taking that much damage. In fact, Grishank falls.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with Grishank trying to go in aggressively there while on the backside, but he ends up getting punished for it. CrazyToaster looking for the kill onto JiminyGlick, and the rest of the members of Risky Behavior are just going to back now, as they've invested a lot but did receive a lot of gold, so they need to spend some of that and come back into the next into these next 5 minutes with a nice bit of team fighting. They have the rest of this game in the bag, if you ask me, just because of the team comp they've drafted, but there still are entry points for Neilm to come back.
Yeah, there definitely are. And one thing you said, Zeus is sitting at top player damage, and my god, that is a lot of player damage at 22 minutes in. Xing pretty close to him as well, and this is the thing that I was saying, with that base percentage damage that Xing has on his Furious Roar, it starts really hurting. But unfortunately for his team, that they just can't pull anything off after this damages output. So although he's got this very high amount of player damage, there's just no real kills on the side of his team to actually accredit this damage.
So now over in the left, or excuse me, right side of the map, the members of Risky Behavior are going to go ahead and push down this tier 1 tower as Thor finds a pretty good stun wall into Jin Chan while he was trying to get out. But over in the middle lane, that's where their attention is turning now, as they want to try and maybe get something onto this Bastet. Good God, Wubbn, will you miss a Sylvanus pull, please? And now Grishank is desperately running away after just nearly being taken out by a tower and soul.
However, on the other side, though, Thor's going to go up into his ultimate. Question is, who's he going to land on? Looking for JiminyGlick. Not going to be able to find that, though. Sorry about that, camera. It decided to go somewhere else, but JiminyGlick is going to be finished off by the detonate.
And that's now a 13...
Oh, PandaCat's going to get pulled in by the Fearless and is immediately finished off as well. Covi going to get a nice ultimate all beast away, though. Covi also forced to use the dash away, and this is everyone on the side of Risky going, oh, hey, we just got rid of everyone. Let's go fire.
Fire Giant needs a call here. You have all 5 members over on the right side of the map. Bastet over on the left side of the map trying to do Bastet split push things, and unfortunately that's not going to be enough to swing back this game. I think that this might be the cap on the end of this attempt at Neilm winning game 1, but if they can get a good fight underneath Phoenix, I don't really necessarily agree with the tier 2 defense, but under Phoenix, I think that they can make a much better argument, especially if they can get the Zeus first.
I think they could actually defend at tier 2 right now. They have the potential to do it. It's going to be quite risky. If they lose a fight at tier 2, they have lost this game guaranteed. However, if they are able to fight there and win it, they're going to be able to push down at least one lane, take out a tier 2 of themselves, get a lot of this very important gold that is needed right now, because they are sitting at an 8,200 gold deficit, and it's just getting bigger, pretty much. It's not stopping for the side of Risky Behavior. They're doing so much more effort, and you can see already PandaCat just fighting CrazyToaster right now, and CrazyToaster is just healing everything that PandaCat can do.
Yeah, Tier's been playing pretty phenomenally. He's actually set up quite a few fights for his team members, and he might set up another one. He doesn't have Blink available. And as a tier player, I can honestly say that nothing feels better than the Blink. And here it comes. He's going to go ahead and start it off, but unfortunately for him, Beast is going to be popped just in time to stop Anhur from getting killed. But again, Sylvanus did not miss his pulls, and Anhur forced to use the ultimate as a CC immunity. Thor comes in, lands onto PandaCat, and takes him out. Meanwhile, Janus is doing quite a bit of damage, but XenoTronics is doing much more. And Bastet jumps into the fight, gets dangerously low. XenoTronics with a triple kill. He might go for the quadra, and no, it's not even going to take to that point. That's going to be Neilm going for the surrender vote on game 1 of this best of 5 series. Risky Behavior taking this one quite decisively.
As you said, it's a best of 5 series. There are still a lot more games for Neilm to be able to win. They knew it was over at that point. They had a very fed Zeus, who I would not be surprised we see banned. In fact, actually there's a lot of characters. I don't know who you would really want to ban on this side of Risky Behavior. You could ban the Zeus, you could ban the Soul, you can ban the Tier, or you can ban the Sylvanus, or you can even ban the Thor.
I don't know about the Tier. I don't know, but I was with you.
I mean, the Tier was sitting at 7, 3, and 13. The Tier was sitting at 7, 3, and 13 by the end of this.
Yeah, he was. And, you know, I think that was actually a lot because of how the rest of the map went down. Tier just was allowed to do whatever he needed to. I think that really the big story of the game was the micromanagement from Risky Behavior. They knew that Bastet was one of the big win conditions for Neilm, and so they always looked for opportunities to deny gold, maybe get a kill here or there. I mean, Grishank getting first blooded was not a good sign for Neilm, and then on top of that, Thor as well as Zeus just took every opportunity to invade on their jungle, take some of their back harpies, take some of their other buffs, because they knew that Zeus just had the far superior level 2, 3, 4, even 5 in comparison to JiminyGlick. JiminyGlick does have some strong damage potential, and actually Covi as well as NeiruMah brought in their own little flair of spice when they did do the double ultimate combination of Athena, Defender of Olympus, with Covi's Jin Chan ultimate. So they did have some flavor to their team fight, or not their team fight, but their little engagements. It's just that because Grishank was kept so far behind, it was a difficult story to make to where Grishank could use the cats as effectively as we typically expect out of a Bastet player.
Yeah, and it was just unfortunate for the side of Neilm. They weren't able to find the right places they need to initiate. They did find a couple of good kills, and as you mentioned, that first fight with the Covi coming in, getting a two-man ultimate, and more importantly, getting those 2 kills with the help of the Athena, it really helped him get a bit further ahead. But this Zeus damage that was coming out was so ridiculous in team fights that they could only focus him, and if they focused him, then it was going to be FaymousHate ripping through them for the rest of their health anyway. They just couldn't do much against those 2 insane characters, so they will most likely actually come in with banning out Zeus and Sol probably straight up, unless Risky Behavior go for this Chaos side, which then Neilm may look to try and find one of those themselves.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what changes are made on the side of Neilm to maybe have a better result this next time around. You guys stay tuned. We're going to go into Game 2 of the NA North American Challengers Cup Series final matchup. We're back in just a moment.